It's great to be talking to you today, Jeremiah. How are you?
I am doing so well. I got to like watch Survivor last night with like my parents and like live out my dream. I've been a fan for 24 years. I'm from Canada. Like never in a million years would I think that I was going to be on Survivor, and to actually be on Survivor and to get voted out is like just so surreal. Like dreams come true.
Well, it's great to be talking to another Torontonian. I'm down in the village here, so
Oh,
so probably not that far away. But what was it? I have to say, it's hard to take for two Canadians to be gone in the same night.
and that's what makes Survivor like so unscripted and so amazing. And it's like Jake and I being on the same tribe was like really cool because actually Jake told me that he was mad that I was on his tribe and I was Canadian. Because usually there's only one Canadian, but then we like grew to like love each other and we have like such a strong bond. So I think it's funny and I think that he's happy that we were on the same tribe together and get to know each other. But like, yeah, it was so cool that there was like another Canadian. We just understood each other. And like the thing is like I don't know if Canadians would have gone against each other or worked with each other. Like there, we just didn't see that play out. And so it was cool. It was good. It was cool to play with Jake.
Now, did you, in the recent years, anyways, Canadians have done fairly well on the show. Before going on to the island and all that kind of stuff, did you feel a pressure on you because Canadians have done fairly well at the game?
You know what? I think like what a dozen Canadians have played the game. I was looking at it as like I want to play the game because this has been my dream for 24 years. I want to play the best that I can play.
Right.
But if there's another Canadian that thinks that they can play better than me, then I invite them to go and apply. But for me, I didn't feel the pressure, and I just wanted to live out my dream and play how I wanted to play and remain true to like who I am. And so that's not how everybody would play, but it's how I played.
Now, I spoke to the other people who got voted out from your tribe, and it's about having two Canadians, and they said really wasn't like like they weren't threatened. They didn't feel like there was a big alliance going on, but there was a lot of idiosyncrasies that they enjoyed, such as a boot and a lot of buddy all the time.
Is that a Canadian thing?
I think so, at least from Jake's point of view. But they didn't feel well, there wasn't any. They didn't feel threatened by any kind of
Oh,
Canadian alliance. Did you feel that out there?
no. Even when Jake said that he was from Canada on the map, I'm like, bro, like, don't tell everybody that you're Canadian. And then when we like landed on the island, when we stepped foot onto the island, I said I just couldn't hold it in any longer. I'm like, oh, I'm Canadian too. I
Yeah,
looked back and I'm like, I should have said that, when we were like off one-on-one.
right.
But I think the rest of like they were kind of like, you guys are from Canada. That's cool. And literally like that's it. That's cool.
Now, why last night do you think that you were the one voted out and not Sophie instead? What do you think was the factor in that?
You know what? Here's the thing. All four of us were working together and we were a strong four.
Right,
Sophie's like, I think it just came down to, who Alex wanted to bring at the end of the day.
right,
And so I think and they spent a lot of time together. Sophie and I had like a number one thing with each other. And I know she had a number one thing with Jake. And so she was with Jake and Alex a lot.
right,
So I think it was just one of those things. Alex and I connected a lot, like outside of the game and like more on a personal note.
right.
And we were able to kind of like talk about real life and just have fun. But like during pregame, like Alex was the number one person who I didn't want to like be on my tribe. So that was like worst case scenario for me. And he's a Libra. Like Libras are just so hard to understand and they ask a lot of questions. And when you're not eating and you're not sleeping and it's so hot out, like I just can't ask 100,000 questions because I can't even remember who I'm voting for or like spell people's names. Like, you know what I mean? But I love Alex.
Now, what do you think was the weakness or what was the trouble going on at the tribe? Because again, it always seemed to be the puzzles that you guys tripped over, but was it just camp life that really drained you for those challenges?
No, I think, you know what? I think morale, yeah, we didn't eat, we didn't sleep, we didn't have fire, we didn't like, I don't know. But when you look at the challenges, we were do fine up until the puzzles. And I feel like puzzles for us were like trying to break through a brick wall and we with our hands and we just couldn't do it. And like we just didn't fault anybody for not being able to do puzzles.
Right.
It, it's just one of those things. Granted, like if we had more like nutrition in us, like could we have done it? I'm not sure.
Right. Now, how bad was it out there? I mean, we saw some of it on the show, but I get the sense that it was a lot worse than what we're seeing.
I came back and I'm like, wow, that was like really crazy. And I'm like, yeah. So it was, but I didn't know any other way. That was my first time playing. I just thought that people had to eat worms. I thought that like you have to like literally form alliances instantly, like turn on each other pretty quickly. But then when I was seeing other people eating crabs and like doing yoga and like having these like mansion, like mansion, shelters, it was just kind of like, wow, that was so completely opposite from like my experience. We didn't even have a shelter. We made Annie, well, we didn't make Annie built that whole shelter by herself, like in a day, while I was bitching about her like eating my coconuts and like poor Annie, I love Annie.
Well, she doesn't take any offense to that. She said that things are great with all you guys. Um, in the sense that you finally got to see everything that happened to Jake. I mean, obviously you weren't privy to all that. How did it hit you seeing that all back?
Yeah, I have spent a lot of time with Jake, talking to Jake actually. And so um, I think it was more about we didn't see the behind the scenes and we
Right.
didn't know a lot that was happening. We were just told, like I didn't know that it was a non-venom, like there was no venom in the bite. And so
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I learned a few things. And so just like what he went through, he kind of described it to me, but I think it was just kind of like that's what makes Survivor so real. And like as a player, you don't really want to see somebody
Right.
be hurt further and like potentially die and stuff like that. It's a game. We're here to have fun. We know that it's all of our dreams. And so for someone to be taken out like that, it's like you wouldn't wish that upon like your worst enemy.
Now, I think some people were surprised last night when the guide was brought out and all that was introduced. But let people in on a little bit of some of the behind the scenes because, as far as I know, you guys when you guys arrive early, you're told, "Hey, stay away from these animals. Only go here. Only go there." You guys have a lot of input, a lot of education and guidance before you actually start playing. Correct?
Yeah, there's Survivor School. I mean, we have that sort of like that book on site for us to reference, but and we stay away from animals, but like those animals and stuff like we don't really see. And
Right.
so it's just a fluke situation. It's like getting struck by lightning,
Right.
unfortunately.
Right. It's never happened on Survivor before. I mean, we've had stingrays and jellyfish, but those were kind of minor things. Now, looking back, you've been able to watch your entire story, and obviously we don't get to see everything because there's only so much time.
Yeah.
Is there anything about your journey, whether it was like a moment, either strategic or personal, that you wish people would have seen about your journey?
I wish people would have saw like how uncomfortable I was the whole time and like how like this is like so outside of my element and
Right.
like eating worms is something that like I would never do. Like my hands are filthy. I shower 2 times a day. Like I eat 6 meals a day at a certain time. Like I live a very regimented life. So
Right.
for me to even actually be out there is just like one of those things on like when I told my parents that I applied to be on Survivor, like they laughed in my face, like full out laugh. And I know why they laughed at me. Now I get it. But I think that was it. And like I had so much fun out there. I connected with like my tribe mates. I love those people. I know it's only 6 days, but in those situations, like you get close and I would pick up my phone or go and visit them like any day.
Now, you say this, you were out of your element, obviously. What did you learn about yourself having gone out there and having to experience? I mean, you guys, you had the full Survivor experience in the sense that your tribe was really decimated and you didn't have a whole lot out there. What did you learn about yourself?
Yeah, I learned that. Well, what I learned about myself was before going into the game, my dad told me don't talk strategy to anybody and talk to a tree because I'm a little bit too honest and I need to like
Right.
bounce out my ideas and talk out all my thoughts. And when I went on the island, I just kind of like stayed true to who I was. I didn't really confide in anybody and I just kind of stuck to myself. And so I think it's more like trusting my gut and being a little bit more independent because not everyone always has like your best interests.
Yeah.
And so I just, that's what I learned from myself. And also, it's like kind of like, I try to live like a very positive life, but like when you're out there and you're not eating and you're not sleeping and you keep losing, like you could go down like a slippery slope. And but the way that I look at it is that's my survivor experience, that's my journey, that's what's meant to be, and I wouldn't change it.
Well, Jeremiah, it was great talking to you today. All the best of luck to you in the future. And you know what? Can't wait to see you on the finale because I'm sure you'll have a lot to say.
Cool. Nice to meet you. See ya.
Yeah.